This is not one of those I let myself go and stopped lifting sort of stories. It's a completely different story. Let's get into it. I moved to the UK at around 90 kilos. That's around 200 pounds. And in the course of 4 years, I gained 45 kilos. The year is 2013. Life is much simpler. I'm just starting my undergrad in sports science and I am in love with lifting. Following the first year at university, I discovered the best excuse to eat unlimited calories: powerlifting. Not only did I get to eat as much as I wanted, but I had to do it because I was a super heavyweight strength athlete. Cue rock music. And as a natty lifter, seeing your strength skyrocket is a different feeling. And gaining body weight, at least for the squat and the bench press, is a surefire way to see your absolute strength go up. However, your relative strength may even go down. Being able to squat near 600 pounds was cool AF, and I was having the time of my life. So I gave myself the freedom card of, hey, you're gonna gain as much weight as you like for these couple of years, stay active, keep lifting. My blood work was always excellent, my resting heart rate as well. I was in good health, I have good health genetics. Things were fun as hell. I was hitting massive numbers for me at the time, and I was just enjoying eating whatever I wanted. I had stopped caring about my physique to the point where I would show up in the gym in actual leggings and like an XXL t-shirt, and I didn't care. But wake up feeling bloated, sluggish, and most importantly, sad AF. Clothes had started to be difficult to find. Being that heavy for me was a first. I was a heavy kid, but I was never go and get clothes off the special clothes shop heavy. I wasn't having as much fun anymore because I was too heavy for my liking and because I couldn't justify being that heavy. I am a relatively strong individual. I'm very strong for general people standards, strong for commercial gym standards, and thumbs up strong for just powerlifting standards. But I wasn't strong enough to justify being 300 pounds. As I got into academia, teaching, research, my identity shifted from being just a lifter, and it became more than just that. It became a coach, a researcher, an academic. During those 2-3 years where I was gaining weight, in my head I was Pac the lifter, where it was all about the numbers and all about the PRs. As the great American philosopher Travis Scott once said, balance, find your balance. And that was a key theme in my head at the time. I needed to have more balance in my life. But the time came where I needed to address the elephant in the room, and that elephant was none other than me. I needed to achieve balance, and I also needed to find a way for me to enjoy lifting, enjoy food, and be able to do that while also feeling good, looking good, and being healthy in the long term. I knew that my cut would be very long, and it would also need to be structured in a way that it is sustainable, allowing me to actually lose weight, maintain muscle mass, but have fun and not have the stress of the cut being over my shoulder at all times. I could not approach the cut with a warrior mentality that the fitness industry often promotes, because that would lead to me burning out and probably calling it quits. Aside from being leaner, a key thing that I wanted to achieve was to be able to have a healthy relationship with food, be able to have my YOLO days, be able to eat stuff that I enjoy, but without having to either go all out or cut. I was eating roughly 500 calories below my maintenance. I was prioritizing foods that were high in fiber. I was eating 3 to 6 meals per day. A high protein diet, around 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight. I had cheat days every 2 weeks or so. One day where I said, you know what, eat whatever you want. If you go crazy, don't eat the next day. Fast, I talk to myself in the third person. I am crazy.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
The goal was to lose roughly 0.2 to 0.5 kilos per week. Another thing that I did that was very helpful, diet break every 10 to 12 weeks. We go back up to maintenance, strict maintenance, train very hard, enjoy the slightly higher calories, and then after 4 to 6 weeks, when we're ready, back in the deficit we go. I averaged somewhere between 10 to 15,000 steps per day, and at the same time, kept my training relatively flexible. So I made sure to train at least 3 times per week, hit the weights hard, but if on one day I wanted to do lat pull downs versus another lat exercise, I just did it. I just kept things relatively high intensity in terms of effort, and still treated training as if I am chasing PRs and as if I'm on a surplus. The way I evaluated each week was also something that I really paid attention to. So the thinking was, did I lose weight? If yes, then great. If not, that's fine. Worst case scenario, I ended up on maintenance calories this week. I still trained hard, gains were made. Let's evaluate next week and see if we need to drop calories. Otherwise, it may also just be one of those weeks where the scale doesn't move, but you still end up losing weight. One thing I regret not doing back then was measuring my waist circumference. Something that I do now religiously, just so I'm aware of where my body composition is going, regardless of how the scale weight changes, because that can fluctuate quite a bit. This is a fat loss diet, not a weight loss diet. The goal is to lose body fat, not just drop massive amounts of weight very quickly, see a number on the scale, and then potentially gain it back up. I avoided the whole social media pressure of the cut. I just kept it relatively low key and just did my thing behind the scenes without talking about it, without saying I'm on a cut, without sharing any progress pictures and saying, yeah, this is how the cut went this week. I just did my thing. Aside from the mentality, I had certain things that I placeboed in my head. Now, placeboing things is an art that I have invented. I'm obviously patenting it, and you are liable to paying me money whenever you use the word. But joking aside, there were certain things that I kept repeating to myself just to get me in this sort of positive mindset about certain things. One thing that I was placeboing heavily was that I was at a very high body fat percentage, and that would make things much easier as far as not losing a ton of muscle mass, especially because I was dieting very slowly. At the same time, I was eating a lot of protein, and the fact that I had a lot of body fat percentage allowed me to placebo the idea of potentially also making some gains. So I was telling myself, you know what, it may be possible. We're at a very high body fat percentage, we're eating a ton of protein, we're still training hard, maybe I can lose some fat and gain some muscle. So I had approached this cut with a very positive mindset, and I didn't go into it thinking, oh man, I'm gonna be in a deficit, I'm gonna lose my gains, I'm gonna be looking smaller, and so on and so forth. The mindset was purely, hey, Fatso, you have a lot of body fat on you, you are gonna be losing fat slowly, you're eating a lot of protein, you're strength training, good things may happen besides just fat loss. And now for the results. As you can see on your screen, things went really well. So from 136 kilos being my highest weight, I went all the way down to 101. That was my all-time low. I didn't hit 2 digits. And looking back, in hindsight, I should have hit that 99, but I didn't. But as you can see from the weight loss chart, even though my weight trended downwards, it was constantly going up and down and fluctuating heavily. There was a downward trend all the time, but you can clearly see periods of maintenance, periods where my body weight fluctuated and went up for whatever reason. It wasn't what many people assume weight loss would look like, just a constant drop of weight. As far as calories go, my goal throughout the cut was to keep calories as high as possible while still losing weight. So as long as I was close to that 1 pound per week, so around half a kilo of body weight lost per week on average, I was cool. And having those diet breaks where I brought my calories back up to maintenance, as well as being on such a slight calorie deficit, allowed me to stay pretty much on the same amount of calories for the whole cut. I wasn't expecting to be at the same-ish amount of calories for the entirety of the cut, but it worked out, and I was. You can see on your screen, there were days where I had 9,000 calories, so there were a couple of those throughout those few years, and a couple of days where I had 0 calories to offset those 9,000 calorie days. But overall, I was roughly around 2,700 to 3,000 calories and losing weight slowly but surely. Switching from a low bar squat to a front squat and obviously other leg exercises, I did manage to hit a 180, so a 4-plate front squat at a similar body weight to now, so towards the end of the cut, which was great. I managed to massively increase my deadlift, so as a heavy guy before, aka a fatso, I wasn't able to get in a really good position when deadlifting, so I was able to add 30 plus kilos onto my deadlift 1RM, as well as hit multiple rep PRs on the deadlift and on other lifts like the barbell row, the overhead press, and so on and so forth. Keep in mind, I was still a heavy guy. My cut ended at around 225 pounds, so I was able to maintain a lot of my strength. Just because you may have a lot of weight to lose, you can still do so and definitely make strength gains, definitely maintain a lot of your strength gains, especially if you do that very slowly. It may be that dieting very slowly is not sustainable for everyone, and there are people out there that can diet much more aggressively and get their cut over and done with versus doing what I did. This is what I looked like after 2 years of cutting, maintaining, cutting, maintaining, cutting. Overall, I was very happy with what I looked like. I stopped looking like an industrial fridge and I looked more like a mini fridge, which was really cool. I was never a fan of the traditional aesthetic physiques. That's not something that most people like, but that's what I liked. Big, hairy, looking like a jacked dad bod, the daddy bod, which is a term that I've coined and I am trademarking right here on the spot. We'll see you in court. I did reach my initial goal of being at around 100 kilos body weight, a healthy body fat percentage, blood work and so on and so forth was still as good as it was before, but I could fit into normal people clothes again. I felt comfortable, and most importantly, I felt like I had achieved balance. And since then, I haven't done any more YOLO bulks. I've done my fair share of bulking, but in a controlled manner, and I am roughly at the same body weight as I was when I finished the cut. I was 106.7 kilos this morning, with a bod pod and a DEXA scan of around 20-24% body fat. Massive increases in strength since I finished the cut on both the deadlift, the overhead press, and every other lift that I enjoy doing. If you're gonna take anything away from this, is that no matter how much weight you have to lose, it is possible to lose that weight and keep it off. Use the time during a cut to build a better relationship with food, yourself, your body image, as well as to still enjoy training and enjoy the journey of lifting. Your future self will thank you, because you can also reach the promised land and finally relax and enjoy life while also lifting, being healthy, being fit, and looking good, both in clothes and naked. Terms and conditions apply. Standards are subjective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, notification bell, send me money, buy me clothes, subscribe to my OnlyFans, coming soon, and more importantly, take care of yourself. Peace!